So I asked ChatGPT to give me 40 stocks poised to do well under President Trump's administration, also provide stocks that are under the radar. I'm going to first take a quick look at the overall markets, and today we're actually using the weekly chart to begin. Okay, so this is the weekly chart. You can see we've been going up and up for a couple of years now. We're very extended at these levels. It's very hard for me to just go out here and buy stocks. I like to see a much deeper pullback. You can see we do have a gap that could be filled at some point over here, back down around 4,600 and some change. Now let's just go through. Let's take a quick look at the Dow. Dow's also very extended at these levels. Now let's take a quick look at some of these picks. All right, so first of all, we're going through some energy stocks. ExxonMobil, very extended up at these levels. Once again, this is the weekly chart. I'd definitely like to see a much deeper pullback. Okay, Chevron over here. We're starting to exhibit a series of lower highs and lower lows. Let me jump down to a daily chart right here. Price is currently trading up above that 200 on the daily, but still charting with a series of lower highs and lower lows. XLE, we're still very extended up these levels. We are trading above the 200 moving average, but some stocks are exhibiting some signs of weakness. And when we're looking at stocks to buy, I don't like to buy at these high levels. That's why I also included, you want to find some stocks that are currently under the radar, people may not be paying attention to right now. Okay, so those are the ones I may be more interested in. But I still wanted to see what ChatGPT had to say about some of these energy stocks. So over here, Devon is also exhibiting a series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay. Now I also asked the same exact question to Grok. So over here, what do they say? Now they are providing with other stocks that are kind of under the radar. So let's take a quick look. So over here we got Western Midstream Partners. Okay. So what's this guy doing? This guy's trading right around $35, right? It is a dividend paying stock. It overcame a downward correction. Now this is steadily climbing back up. Okay. So what has to happen is I'm going to take a look at the overall markets, what the energy sectors are doing, but I want to find these smaller picks. So Chesapeake, let's take a quick look. I don't know why this is not loading up, but let's take a quick look at the next one. FTI, right? Something like this. So even with a stock like this, I like to see a deeper pullback, maybe against that 200 moving average, finding a three price relationship before committing capital to go long, even with a stock like this. All right. So let's take a quick look. What do we have next? We got defense and aerospace. All right. So we got the Lockheeds. Let's take a quick look what this guy is doing. So Lockheed recently had a decent pullback. We're on the daily chart now. So I'm going to just do a quick scan with this pullback using my Fibonacci extensions. I'm going to walk it backwards. So over here, this pullback over here is quite similar in dollar amount. Okay. So what else do we have if we walk it backwards? Let's take a quick look at this pullback. I don't think this one's going to match up because this is too shallow, but I'm just going to double check. Clicking from that pivot high, pivot low, yeah, you can see we've already way past that. So over here, Lockheed also trading below the 200 moving average on the daily. Something like this, you want to continue to go back in the history of this chart, find yourself a three price relationship. Maybe it'll settle back in a little bit before providing with the next move back to the upside, getting up above that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. So you want to find yourself a three price relationship here. It may settle in this pocket for quite some time before making the move to the upside. Let's take a quick look at Raytheon, symbol RTX. All right, so over here we do have a gap to be filled right around 109. For all these stocks, I'm looking for a much deeper pullback. The stock market itself very extended, but there are going to be some great picks along the way. For example, yesterday we went over Lululemon. You guys can look at that So over here, this is something that's under the radar. Okay, fundamentally, it's a very, very strong stock. It's not trading above the 200 moving average just yet, but we are finding a series of higher highs and higher lows. Also, a couple weeks ago, I went over Altria. Okay, Altria over here, establishing a series of higher highs and higher lows. I like to look for these when stocks are just beginning to recover against that 200 moving average. What else do we have? Let's go through this defense and aerospace real quick. So over here on NOC, I like to see a pullback against that 200 moving average. Okay, so this is not an area I would like to chase. General Dynamics, GD, over here, very, very extended up these levels. Not going to be chasing here. But you can see we also have some gaps that could be filled all the way back down at 228, right? You just don't know. Sometimes it takes a major market correction and all these defense stocks is going to just dump. Like Boeing over here, it is still doing that downward correction, right? It wasn't able to recover against that 200 moving average on the daily chart. It is continuous downward correction. Taking a quick look at financials. So all these guys, very, very much extended at these levels. So I'm not going to be chasing these guys. I'm looking for a pullback. And we have some good, recommendations on our channel regarding JPM. You guys can look at those. Bank of America. Okay, very extended. We got some gaps over here as well that could be filled. So right now, there's just a lot of over optimism. There's just a lot of optimism in the markets. Same thing, Goldman. Goldman's got a big gap to be filled at some point. You guys can also look on my channel. I also reviewed this chart a couple of months back. Wells Fargo also needs a pullback. It's got multiple gaps to be filled, right? Over here, we got a gap here. And also here's another gap that could bring us back down to that 57 level. Morgan Stanley. Okay, very extended up these levels. Okay. Now I'm going to go to Grok real quick because there might be some more interesting picks. So the financial sector, they want to take a quick look at Discover. So over here, let's say way extended, not going to touch that one. Synchrony, also extended. All right. T Corp, also extended. Okay. What I like is patterns like this. The chart's been going through some type of downward correction for quite some time, series of lower highs and lower lows. At some point, it begins to recover against the 200 moving average and also up above this trend line, this downward correction trend line, and it continues to climb back up above. Now, if you combine the technicals along with the fundamentals, that is a very, very strong winning combination, along with the three price relationship. So over here, let's take a quick look. Got some manufacturing over here. All right, so right now this stock is going through its downward correction. So at some point it's going to bottom out. That's not the place I want to just go long. I want to see a bottoming out. You can see over here, it was doing that a couple years ago. Series of lower highs and lower lows. At some point, it begins to push back to the upside. You want to pay attention to ones like this situation right here. So over here, this series of lower highs and lower lows likely will continue. Marietta Materials over here, very extended up these levels. Not going to be touching this, looking for a pullback. All right, Terex. Okay, this one's just very, very choppy. Not going to look at it. All right, what else do we have? All right, so cryptocurrency and blockchain. We got some mining companies in the mix. Iris Energy. All right. Something like this I like, right? So something like this could be a great, you want to maybe establish a starting position in a stock like this. It's perfectly appropriate. a series of higher highs and higher lows trading up above this 200 moving average, okay? And you can redefine your risk very, very well. In fact, you can look for a pullback. You don't have to buy this right away. You can look for a pullback, maybe a shallow pullback like this, a smaller pullback, clicking from that pivot high, pivot low, right? You can see these two pullbacks are very similar in dollar amount. So you want to look for a pullback, okay? You want to minimize that risk. You don't want to be chasing that recent high. You can say, you know what, I'm going to be patient and wait for a pullback. If it's not there, I'm going to find another stock that's going to exhibit that behavior. TerraWolf, okay, something like this. $8 stock, $9 stock. But for something like this, I would still wait for a pullback. Okay, Coinbase, we've been seeing it in the news. And for a couple of years, it was very, very unsexy, right? Series of lower highs and lower lows. But when it can recover against that 200 moving average, pulls back, and use that 200 moving average to support, you want to be paying attention. Now over here, right now, it's got that nice pop to the upside. Don't chase it. Wait for the next pullback. Perhaps going to pull back again to that 200 moving average on the daily chart. All right, what else do we have here? Okay, under the radar picks across sectors. So we got some real estate over here. All right, something like this, a $10 stock. It is also a dividend paying stock. And we know Donald Trump, he is known for his real estate. So over here, what do we have? Series of higher highs and higher lows trading up above this 200 moving average. I'm going to evaluate this pullback. Looking at the size of this pullback, going to walk it backwards, right? So over here, this tells me this pullback is already similar to this pullback right here. And potentially this pullback, oh, not that one, but you guys understand what I'm trying to do, right? So I'm looking for pullbacks that are similar in the history of this chart. And this is a 100% projection, which meaning this pullback over here, clicking from that pivot high, pivot low, pivot high, projecting to this new recent high, this dollar amount pullback is very similar to the one we're currently experiencing now. And that's what a symmetry support is. And in addition, I can use my fib retracements, clicking from this pivot low to pivot high. Also provides a 786 retracement. Okay, so we just had earnings over here. This is the pocket of potential support we're evaluating right here. So if you want to go long on the stock, we also want to take a quick look on the hourly chart. Where is price trading in relation to that 200 moving average on the hourly? It is trading below. So you want to make sure price can push back up above the 200. Sometimes when price doesn't have that energy to push back up, it just kind of hangs around here and continues to roll over. You want to see that commitment above the 200 moving average on the hourly chart. Over here, I like to also take a quick look at the fundamentals. All I got to do is kind of pop it into a Google Finance or something, or Yahoo Finance. And you can see the last couple of quarters they've been doing quite well, and they're producing a positive net income. There are a lot of companies out there that are in the red. And on an annual basis, how are they performing? 2021, 600 million, right? 2022, over 700 million. 2023, 739 million. So they are increasing their top line revenue, and they are steadily increasing their net income as well. They're also paying out a dividend. I'm not saying it's a lot, right? But it does add up. Let's just say pay you 3 cents every quarter. But this is a $10, $11 stock. Something you may want to hold on to if you are into that dividend investing. Just holding on to stock, collecting dividends, selling cover calls. Many people out there, they have that in their system. Okay, so that's something that really stood out for me after going through all these other symbols. Let's take a quick look at RPM International. And a lot of these stocks are probably not going to end up in the news. They're not sexy, they're not technology based, but they are doing well. The fundamental business side of things is performing well. Now, technically, I like to see a pullback on the stock. Alright, over here we got Clean Harbors. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but over here, also extended at these levels. Not going to touch it for now. Stantec, another infrastructure consulting. Okay, also for something like this, looking for a pullback. What else we have? Trucks, decking and railing manufacturer. So we have a lot of manufacturing, I think that's going to come online, especially with what happened with the different hurricanes. A lot of rebuilding, reconstruction is going to take place, and that companies like this very likely will benefit. So over here, what do we see? A series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, price is currently trading below the 200 moving average, but you want to be paying attention because it's already recovered against that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. So over here, I'm not chasing, waiting for a pullback possibly against that 200 on the hourly chart with a 3-price relationship. Then I'll be very, very interested. Take a quick look at this stock. Over a $300 stock, I never even heard before, right? So very extended up these levels. There are stocks you never hear about in the news, but they're just trucking to the upside. So with the 2020 pullback, it was trading around $22, $23. Now this thing is trading above 300, and it didn't have that major correction along the way, right? So there are some great picks if we have the eyes to see them ahead of time. But right now, these are way extended. These are not great picks. So MTZ, I'm just going to go through them right over here. Way too extended, looking for a pullback. Vulcan Materials, what do we have here? Very, very extended at these levels. Multiple gaps to be filled. Not going to touch it. H&E Equipment, okay. So over here, we got a steady increasing higher lows and also higher highs. Over here, we got a gap to be filled. So for something like this, possible pullback maybe about this size or even deeper. So looking at this, a pullback like this or even a pullback like this. If you get a pullback in that dollar amount about like that, then you're going to fill this gap, right? And you're going to pull back against that 200 moving average. And you also working along with that 200 on the hourly chart already. I like this chart just because we got lining up of that 200 moving average is very, very close. So this line over here denotes the 200 moving average on the daily chart. So when I swing to the hourly chart, you can see these 200 moving averages are very close to one another, and that could provide additional support. Let's take a quick look at some of these automotive. ALSN. I have never looked at these stocks before. Once again, you can see under the radar stocks. Maybe ones you haven't heard before, they're performing very well. But right now, don't be chasing these new recent highs, right? We want to find gems along the way. That's going to give that technical lineup as well as that fundamental lineup, right? So something like this, there could be some potential in here. This is more of a rolling stock. It's not a high flyer. It's going to swing between 20-something, 30-something. And there's a lot of money to be made with a stock like this as well. For those of people that are into just rolling, they're buying the low, selling at the highs, okay? This depends on how you like to trade. Me, I'm more of a long term, so I like to just buy stock. I like to buy them when it's unsexy, when people are not really looking at it. Those are the places I like to identify. For something like this, nobody's looking at this thing, okay? Very, very few people. But if you look at the volume, they have a volume in the tens of millions per day. So over here, I'm going to find a little bit more about what they do over here. Here we are trading with a series of lower highs and lower lows, okay? It got up above the 200 moving average, but it failed, okay? Got up again, failed, got up a band and failed. But you know, this is kind of like breaking a dam. Eventually, it's going to bust up above. I mean, and a lot of things could happen. But let's take a quick look, learn a little bit more about what this company does, right? So you can pop it in, RI, Rivian Automotive. They're probably not making money, but let's take a quick look. You can see right here, these are just some really nasty numbers. The revenue is 1.6 billion. The net income, negative 6.75 billion over here. Revenue increased tremendously to 4.43 billion. Net income is still negative 5.4 billion. How are they performing on a quarterly basis? Not looking real sexy with that decreasing, okay, revenue quarter over quarter, right? So there's got to be some things that's going to make a huge change. Rivian Automotive is an American electric vehicle manufacturer, automotive technology, outdoor creation company founded in 2009, okay? So let's take a quick look. I had never heard about this car. Have any of you heard about this car? Anybody say I want to go buy one of these? Okay. So, but what's interesting about the stock market is that, hey, sometimes you can still make money even though the company is doing poorly, okay? So what I'm looking for, this is a very, very small play, right? It's not something you're just going to load up with your account portfolio with, but you're going to see, let's just say we get a series of higher highs and higher lows, and this guy begins to march to the upside, okay? And it begins to use that 200 moving average as support. There could be a play there. And this is not a big play, right? You may just get a couple of shares, that's it. And then you say, okay, I'm going to follow through on my rules. If it gives me a trigger on a 15-minute time frame, I'm going to go long. But if it goes against me, breaks below my pocket of potential support, I'm out. That's it. What else we have? Let's go through what else did ChatGPT say. Yeah, some of these guys are already talked about on my chart. So America is about healthcare, right? Healthcare, it makes a lot of money. So over here, United Healthcare looking for a pullback. Pfizer. Okay. So over here, this guy is going through its bottoming out. He got up above the 200 moving average temporarily. It's currently failing, but don't worry. At some point, it may make that recovery back to the upside. CVS. Okay. Right now, this is the unsexy stock, series of lower highs and lower lows. Nobody's really looking at this, but you want to just keep it on your radar in case when it begins to exhibit this behavior. What behavior? When it can get back up above the 200 moving average on the daily chart and also get back up above this downward correction trend line. Okay, that's when that bull may return into the stock. Okay. HCA, take a quick look over here. So what I like about this stock is that it's not super extended, and we did get a pullback the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to evaluate this just a little bit, looking at this pullback, that pivot high, pivot low, and march it backwards. Okay. So it is using a 200 moving average as support. Okay. But as I'm looking at this pullback, there isn't a pullback that is very similar in the history of this chart. Okay. I can't really find anything that is matching. It is about high probabilities. What I try to do each day is to provide high probability setups. And over here, this is not a, for me, it's not a high probability trade. It's trading below the 200 moving average. And I don't really have a good matchup with the dollar amount pullbacks. Okay. Johnson & Johnson, take a quick look. What's going on here? over here, but how far could it fall? So I'm going to jump back out to a weekly chart. Okay, so with the 2020s, 2020 low, it was right around 109. This is trading below the 200 moving average on the daily. Let me double check. Yep, it's right there against that 200 moving average on the daily. We are exhibiting some weakness the last couple of months, almost for over a year now. Series of lower highs and lower lows, okay? So as I'm stepping back out on a weekly chart, I'm just wondering how low can this go, right? So over here we got some levels, 134, 108, right? So right now it is exhibiting weakness on this chart. So I'm just gonna wait. Under the radar picks, we got some talk, a smaller communication player. I don't even know what they do. We're gonna take a quick look at the chart real quick. So this is a $3 stock. Gonna quickly look on the daily chart. All right. So for something like this, even with a chart like this, I like to see a pullback. Don't want to just jump into it right away. Okay, Mosaic. So guys, these are the type of opportunities we want to be paying attention to. So over here, I'm going to connect some of these tops. I'm going to extend to the right, okay? And you guys can also draw in some of these other tops. And just put in some trend lines, y'all. Put in some trend lines. Extend to the right, okay? Now, could it continue to trade lower and lower? Of course it can, right? What kind of levels we're looking at? So back in over here, 2021, we were trading right around 28. And right now we're actually trading below. We're right around that level. And a couple months ago, we were trading below 28. Over here in 2020, it was trading around 6, okay? Now, if we continue this pattern of lower highs and lower lows, we may continue to trade down to that level. But let's take a quick look at this stock. What I'm looking for is a lot of strength. Okay, so we got the institutions. They are poised to go long on this, and it's going to show up in the price. Price gets that back up above the 200 moving average, pull them back, and providing me with a trigger to go long on a 15-minute time frame. That's the type of behavior that I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to remove this drawing right here. Let's take a quick look at the fundamentals. I mean, they are in the agriculture business, right? And they're selling industrial chemicals. Yep, chemical fertilizers, all right? Tampa, Florida, okay? Phosphates, potash, urea for the fertilizer. I am kind of disappointed they are losing money. Don't know what the hell's going on. Over here, 2022 did over 19 billion. 2023, 13 billion. I don't know what the hell that's all about. And on a quarterly basis, they're not performing well either. But if you are just swing trading stocks, sometimes you can find some great gems if you just follow through on your rules. Okay, you're finding some strength, recovering against this 200, marches up with a series of higher highs and higher lows, position sizing, going long, following through on your rules. You can still make money. Even the company doesn't make money. You don't care. All right, got equipment rental, likely to gain from infrastructure spending. I'd like to learn a little bit more about this stock. Okay, so this guy's trading over 200, looking for a pullback with a stock like this. Medical tech, innovative aesthetic treatments. I mean, there's always a lot of money in this company. So over here, what we got here, prices recover against the 200. I like that. I like that a lot. So over here, Last couple of years, also that downward correction, not sexy at all. Now I'd like to continue to see this thing march back up, giving me some decent pullbacks, right? Now I'm going to take a quick look at their fundamentals, see what they're all about. Over here, okay, they are making money. Look at this. We got an increasing top line revenue, right? On a quarterly basis, it's also looking nice. They just had earnings. All right, over here. These are the gems you want to look for. So we got INMD. Keep this on your radar. Keep this on your radar. All right. And find your winning. This area right here is very similar to this area here. You guys know what I'm talking about? So if I were to extend this horizontal line, right, all the way back. So right now this stock, let's just say, is trading around 18, and back in 2020, it was exhibiting very similar behavior. And when it moves up, it kind of slowly moves up. Nobody's really paying attention. And then 12 months out, you're all the way up, close to $100. You see what I mean? And this thing had a 2-for-1 split. So we know the company is making money. All right, let's find out a little bit more about what they do. Let's go to their website. And you guys can ask around, maybe your friends, or look on social media what they do. Morpheus 8, look incredible. Huh. So we got doing providers. Explore the benefits application of our innovative technology. Okay. Guys, this is kind of what I do, right? You guys watch like a 1 to 2 minute video, right? But I want to learn more, right? So I go and deep dive and figure this out. I know this stuff is very popular in Asia. Okay, minimally invasive bipolar radiofrequency tissue treatment. Okay, so treatments covered: minimally invasive face and neck, right? I'm sure you can find a lot of YouTube videos. Maybe you got some clinicians actually using them. Aesthetic platform gives you the ability to provide the most in-demand consumer procedures. Okay, hair removal, vascular treatments, improve the appearance of skin, address a variety of concerns. And people love this because it's not like surgery, right? So they're just going through, so they're selling this. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, people love this stuff. $19, $20 stock, fundamentally strong, okay? And over here, this could be our pick of the day, okay? So depends how you go about it. You can just buy the stock, and then you set your stop below this 200 moving average, right? And you just kind of just work your way back up over here, right here. And along the way, don't be discouraged if you get taken out. You can see people that were doing it, they had the same idea. They were buying this up, right? And yeah, you just want to make sure that establish a series of higher highs and higher lows above this 200 moving average. It may make that poke above the 200 and then fail. It may do it again and then fail, right? And third times, fourth times becomes a charm. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm just saying, look into this stock, okay, and don't get so discouraged if it doesn't go your way right away. So these ChatGPT, it can provide some very interesting picks over here. SNDR, okay, so something like this, I would not be interested just because it's way too extended, looking for a pullback. So today we had two picks that kind of stood out, right? So I want to just go through them real quick. We talked about Riven, R-I-V-N. That was not good. That was not good. Okay, we talked about, was it this one? Empire State, ESRT. Yeah, so this is the one. You guys want to put this on your radar, all right? So when this ESRT gets up above the 200, that's a going long opportunity. And the other one is this under the radar in mode. All right, so for something like this, he's waiting for it to continue to march, series of higher highs and higher lows, finding a three-price relationship. Now, so for those of y'all, you don't care, you're like, I'm just gonna go long now, then you gotta still set your stop loss correctly for yourself, okay? So thank you so much for watching this video. You guys can also do the same analysis, just put it into ChatGPT, put it into Grok, and give you some stocks that could do well under President Trump, okay? And find stocks that are under the radar. Right now, we're just very, very much extended. So for most of the stocks that are being selected out of the Dow, out of the S&P's 500, they're probably very, very extended up at these levels as well. So thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Hi everyone, John here. I recently put together a PDF on Fibonacci trading. You guys can check out the link in the descriptions below. I'll put it in the comments. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? We go over setups and cryptocurrencies as well as US equities to help you grow your account. Subscribe now and hit that notification button. We look to hearing from you in the comments area.